Hey guys, today's video is going to be a coaching collab between me and Valar. I start off with the replay analysis, and then based on what we see in the replay, then I go into some mechanics I feel like she could use to get better, and then we end the video with mechanics that she also just kind of wants to learn. So feel free to watch the video and enjoy. Rock, steady Eddie. Are we ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Alright, and let's begin. Honestly, not a bad play. Like, just from the start to go for the download there. You may feel like you have bad game sense, but like, first off, let me just talk about what I like about this, because a lot of coaches will only focus on what they see that they dislike, and sometimes they miss out on potential like benefits that you may have done here that you don't always do, and why this was good. So first off the follow here, and this ball going back corner, your guy with full boost, likely he's going to be able to still get here without a threat. Taking out Snorlax off kickoff is going to help you guys out, as that helped get you, I think you got, oh, you didn't get any boost with it. That's so weird how the boost doesn't spawn immediately, but helped you get boost there. And then also just the read that you could get this ball first before this guy was another good read, because of the fact that it just helped you get the ball more downfield and collect pressure on the other team. If you just rotated out of this play, typically that would be the quote-unquote better move, as rotating off the ball side. But that's kind of like a cut play there, where you just kind of cut into the rotation to help. One of my tips though is that I like to say outside rotates in. In a spot like this here, let's show the full field. With your nose being right around here, it's actually a really good position, because from here you can turn, you can go straight if the ball like was hit this way to go straight. You can go up this way, and you can go back, like backfield, all at the same time without losing much momentum. You're in what I would call the neutral position here. So right around here, if I was you, I would just stay here a little bit longer and just kind of like try to keep my eye on it, and then that would have let you decide if you could go for it. And maybe mechanically you feel like you can't get that ball because of like awkwardness, if it was hit maybe like a little bit higher or whatever, and that's fine. You could still rotate off and then let your teammate go, because of like, you know, just get behind him, and it would have let you go back post. But also you would have, if you could there, cut that off earlier to the midfield, and that could have helped potentially get a shot on net, or at least keep better pressure. You see that?
Yeah.
Where do you think I see something wrong here?
Well, a lot of the time when I'm playing, I don't seem to really think through my decisions, and I think that's honestly one of my biggest issues. So I kind of just went head on and just shot straight to the middle of the net instead of trying to place it anywhere, actually getting a, I don't know, decent touch on it.
I'd say that part, this shot here, was actually fine. Like, from there, like, that's a hard shot to get anything, like, super powerful on. If anything, like, higher game levels would notice that this back wall is totally open here.
Yeah.
And from here all the way to, like, here, you're very unlikely to get shots so powerful that no one could save it, especially as ranks get better. But if you just, like, chip it back wall, you could try and follow it up before them. But end of the day, like, considering that we're not, like, SSLs here, like, you don't have to be like overthinking that part. My take is that when you landed right around here and you drove this way, let's like think about your pathing here. You drove this way and went all the way down this way right here. The way rotations work is typically like you want to circulate. That way you kind of stay out of other people's ways, and it's a little bit more effective. As the ball side was left here, you would typically have people rotating in a more circular, like first man here. The other former first man should be rotating here, trying to sweep across the net, get a bump or something like that. And then this guy here would be rotating a little bit behind you, and we get that when the ball side's on the left, a clockwise rotation typically. And then when the ball side changes, we get into this counterclockwise rotation. So this guy here, who just knows that the challenge probably should have been like a little bit like more this way. End of the day, he's not in a bad spot, but as you land here and you're rotating all the way out, I feel like you should have tried to bring yourself back around this mid area and been, I'll try and show you the path in a second here. My thing got stuck. Let's get some of these boost colors. There we go. So it would look something like this. You go for a shot, you land here, that's fine. And then from here, I would just kind of like be here, and then with ball side, that's so hard to try and mimic it, but you kind of be over here a little bit, going more down the center path, and then get behind a teammate. That way, like, you can see how, like, if you're over here, the ball's in front of you this way, so it's easier. Like, sure, you can get a bump on someone to make it so they can't get back, or you can dodge them. But the way that you had rounded yourself here, you had to be like, the ball was like right in front of you and then to your side, and then you had to make that awkward turn right here. It's easier to try and like get the ball by rotating off the ball side. You can keep the ball in front of you, as when the ball is going, I'm trying to see my drop. When the ball is going this way, it typically gets brought this way, and then anything that goes towards the corner is going to be going this way anyways. So by going off the ball side as much as you can helps you keep that so it's in front of your nose, kind of, rather than whenever you went this way, it's kind of to your side or it's behind you, and it makes it more awkward to push it, but also makes it more awkward for your teammates to read you. So you're in a good spot right here. Now you can hear someone kind of like behind you, there. But like end of the day, like if you're just here and you just hesitate yourself, you'd be fine. As we talked about though, like, so the ball's on the right side right now, so most of our rotation has like kind of someone going this way. Your backfield here, they had just pushed there. Fear is in the wrong here. It's just kind of like when Fear lands here, Fear should be going out, as I said earlier, like sweeping and crossing, going this way. But just because Fear rotates wrong here does not mean that you need to as well. So I would say keep yourself like kind of facing this way ahead of time here, because of the fact that their rotation on defense is likely, remember, as we say, like as ball side's right, they're going to be rotating clockwise here in a sense on defense, because that's their left in a sense, and ball side left would have it that way.
Yeah,
so they're likely to want to bring it away from the net anyways.
Yeah, I think in this scenario, I was kind of not expecting Ginchi to be coming out from my left. I was kind of looking to follow up the touch from Fear on like that back wall there. So I kind of hesitated after I saw Ginchi come in.
Yeah, I got you. No worries. So, do you know about the boost paths on the field? There's like 5 main boost paths on the field. You have the one that's all the way on the outside. Then you have the oval. Then you have the one that's down the very center. Then you have the other right side oval. And then you have this one on the outside here, which I don't know if my mouse is going to let me draw this before it hits my keyboard. Sweet. So these are your like main 5 boost paths here. So as you're on the outside, typically outside rotating in, from here, I would say as the ball is on the left side here, and we want to get into it. Oh, God, I hate when that happens. I accidentally hit the arrow. I don't know why that's even an option, but you want it to be, so first man typically out here, second man kind of like 2 paths over-ish. So then you would want to kind of diagonal yourself out this way, potentially. And if you need to get the boost pads, maybe get like here 1, 2, 3 to here. If you need to like get maybe a few more boost pads before you get there. But then if you were over here potentially waiting for this play, maybe you can't get to that, but then at least you would have been faster to pushing on the right side to go and pressure them. I think you going to this back corner here is thinking too much large boost pads and not enough just like smaller boost pads. As you could have gone 1, 2, 3, and then kind of been over here with like 4-ish boost pads worth of boost, which is enough to like truly keep pressure. It's only 44 boosts to get to the ceiling. So like 36 boost can cover a lot more than people realize, depending on how you use it. So we're in a good spot here. Just one of those like, so here. So right around now, if you have to, so like if there's a teammate behind you right now, and we know our nose is facing like this way, and we have to make a route that's going to go back like this behind to go and get a touch on the ball, we might as well just let the guy that's behind us here just go anyways, as he probably could get a clear there, and we could just stay ahead of his touch here, because if he goes for a bang here on the ball, hits it downfield and you just kind of stay where you are, then you're in a good second man spot for them anyways. Because if I watch Fear's POV here, I bet you he was thinking... Yeah, Fear's probably thinking that he could get it there.
Yeah.
That's fine. So let's go here for a second. I'm not going to go too much longer onto the replay analysis. I feel like so far, I feel like certain things requiring like kind of rotating off that ball side. And then I feel like just like the distance. So like you got the mid boost here. And then like there's no reason to go all the way back here. Like, you know what I mean? You get here and then you just sit here and then just try and be a little bit more upfield a bit to stay in that play.
Yeah, I definitely feel like in a lot of these games, especially for threes, I play a lot more passive in the sense where it's like, oh, I already see two of my teammates in that like enemy half. So I'm kind of like, oh, you know, maybe I should just kind of hang back, stay back just in case they get like a massive clear or something.
So let's now transition to what I think could be mechanics that could help you to be faster, to be able to like help with those keeping pressure of stuff. So do you know what a fast aerial versus like a real fast aerial is? I don't know if you've ever seen
Fast
my little
aerial
video
versus
something.
real fast aerial? Probably not.
All right. Yeah, that's perfect. So basically, if I asked you how to do a fast aerial, how do you think you do a fast aerial?
I'm more of a doer than an explainer. Let's see. So it's like, oh, you know, the verses of like, oh, just popping the boost, going up versus kind of like getting the double jump with the boost up, I guess would be how I would explain it.
Yep. All right. So you demonstrated what I thought was a fast aerial for probably all the way up until GC1. But this was back before anyone had ever made a video about this topic. And I think I opened the eyes on my first TikTok video way back that talked about this enough so that I remember blue screen like commenting, but it's not even faster though. And then I like have proved, and since then he's made a video on it too, which I thought was pretty funny to me. But so let me see if you can see the difference between these two mechanics. So right now, if I try and go from like my front bumper being like right on this pad straight up, there's that. And then let's see if I can show you the second one here. That's going to be a little bit different. Do you see any difference?
Yeah, in terms of when you get the jump, I believe.
So there's this. And then there's also this one. So the trick is that on the old thought of a fast aerial, you would be holding your boost the whole way through your fast aerial. So it'd be boosting and jumping on the first one and then just hitting your jump on the second one. But when you think about it, that's going to be pushing me forwards while I'm also trying to go up. And if I need to make it to an aerial that's coming at me, like directly head on, as I will demonstrate here. So if I was right here having to go straight up and I'm boosting forwards to try and go up, you see how like it's really hard for me to reach to it, 15 boost, because I'm getting closer to the ball because I'm boosting forwards at the beginning of the first jump already, giving me less time to even reach to it. So by jumping not on the first one and boosting, I have 38 boost now versus 15. That's a huge difference. So the trick on it is just to make sure that you're jumping without boost on the first one. And then on the second jump, so you jump without boost, you tilt back, and then you jump and boost at the same time on the second one.
Okay, I see. So jump, tilt back, then jump and boost?
Yep, so it's like a typical one before, it's just you're not boosting on the first part of it, basically.
Something like that?
Yep, that's basically it. And the best drill for this, I would say, as you're trying to get better at like doing it, is that you kind of just want to make sure that if you picked a spot on the field, they're just kind of, you're doing a fast aerial straight above where you started at, and then you're landing as you go back down, like right back to where you had been. Because if you boost on it, if you're doing it wrong, then you should be kind of going a little bit forwards from where you started. And if you're not tilting back enough right before you jump, then you're starting your aerial more forwards. So just try and like do it so you would go straight above where you started. You don't want to go any more forwards than where you started your aerial at.
Got it.
All right, so that's a good first one to start about for those topics. And then I guess I also want to transition to, do you have any mechanics that you want to work on that you have questions about? Like, now I've talked about something that I saw in the replay. Is there anything that you would just want to ask about that's not in that replay? Because you know probably what you need better than I do.
Oh gosh. When it comes to mechanics, a lot of the ones that I do, I would say, are pretty basic or simple, not necessarily what people would consider quote unquote high ranking mechanics, where in the sense like, oh, you know, I can hat flip, I can, you know, take the ball up the wall, I can dribble around somebody and break somebody's ankles. But for example, if you were trying to say like, oh, do a flip reset, do a musty flick, do, you know, hit an open net, I probably would be able to do those. Open nets
are high level mechanics. That's it is. All right, so how about let's start with one speed flips.
Okay.
Do you know how to speed flip?
I have seen it. I have tried, but successfully no.
Can you then hold a directional air roll as you do a, you know what a front flip cancel is? So if you push your joystick at 12 o'clock, is my screen share working, by the way?
Yeah, I can see it.
So if you push your joystick to 12 o'clock like you were about to do a front flip, but instead, right after you initiate the flip, you pull straight down to 6 o'clock, it should do a motion like this. This is just a flip cancel. Now, the trick is if you hold directional arrow left or right before you initiate the flip. So if I hold directional arrow and I do a front flip, it does actually a diagonal flip, like a left side diagonal flip. Arrow right, it'll do it right side diagonal. So if I do that same front flip cancel, while holding directional arrow left, it does a diagonal flip cancel, also known as a speed flip. Oh my god, my A button's kind of messed up, and it just totally threw that for a whack there. But right there, that's a speed flip. That's a speed flip as well. So I can do both side speed flips, and it only requires me, as you can kind of see there, to do almost a perfect like flip can't like 12 to 6, but sometimes you'll see I push it a little bit towards like 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock. That's only because if I push it towards 1 o'clock and I do the arrow left speed flip, it tilts my car slightly to the right before I do my flip, which helps then my nose land more centered, in a sense, because a speed flip will be a little bit like your landing will be like a nose tilted a little bit one way, so that makes up for it. So try and do a front flip cancel right now. Let's just start with the basic part of it to begin with. So that 12 o'clock, then once you initiate 6 o'clock. Perfect, right? Now try and hold directional arrow and just do a front flip while holding directional arrow.
Without the cancel?
Yeah, without the cancel yet. Just to make sure that... Perfect. So you're holding it before you initiate it. And then all you gotta do is that 12 to 6, and then make sure you're holding directional arrow before it, and just hold the flip cancel through it as well.
Okay, so I want to hold the directional beforehand.
Yes.
Okay. Oh gosh. Gotta put it all together. Let's see if my hands want to do that. Alright, so...
So that one must have been after?
Yeah, I think so.
So you gotta make sure...
My brain is like, okay, I want to drive forward. Driving forward is the first button I want to press. Okay, so... Okay, I think I'm gonna use... left.
I will, by the way, I will hold like my air roll before even the first jump. Like, you know how to flip, you just hit your jump twice. Before even the first, because of how fast I'm doing it, it doesn't even matter if I was like holding it before the first or not, because by the time my car like initiates the flip, my car's air roll has only air rolled like 1/12 of a full air roll.
Yeah.
So like it does not really affect it at all. So that might help you just not have to think of it as much, is that as long as you're just holding it before you even start your flip and you just do a front flip cancel, that's just make sure you're holding it and all you're thinking is a front flip cancel, you should be good.
Okay. Holding the button. All right.
Just hold her down ahead of time. Just all you're thinking is just a front flip, flip cancel. That's a speed flip. Valar.
Well,
Is that easy?
Then you gotta add the boost, right?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a whole nother button. That's a whole nother button.
That technically is not making it into a speed flip. It was already a speed flip. It's just a speed flip with boost. But I want to talk about the potential uses that we can have for this.
Mm-hmm.
So first use is obviously on kickoff. So learning how to utilize it can help you a lot for your kickoff, just to have a better kickoff. You can save more boost and stuff. That's like the first use for the speed flip. Mm-hmm. Another useful thing is that, like, and this will come with time, of course, but like there's also like the ability to use it for like pre-flips, get certain touches on the field to get to a ball that you may not have been able to hit otherwise at higher levels, but it's going to help you a lot. Say once you're getting to the points of air dribbles, balls far out, you can use it to try and follow up further to get touches on the ball. Mm-hmm. It'll help you save more boost that way as well. And then people, but this is all still the same type of flip, is what I'm trying to show you. People that do like resets into the, alright, man, I wish I was frontal. But people that do one reset and then they do it like that rapid reset, it's still using that exact same flip. So by learning how to use like your directional air roll for a speed flip, you can also help kind of get yourself to the point that you can get some of that mechanic. Oh my god, I actually suck at this apparently. But get some of those like speed flip mechanics down that will then be able to be used for your like other mechanics down the road. I want to show you, it's kind of like a stepping stone mechanic that's going to be used down the road for the future. Alright, I think we're decently in here for certain mechanics. Alright, Valar, what's one cool mechanic, one fun mechanic, something that you think would be fun for you to be practicing on stream? Let's say there's a, what mechanic do you feel like would be fun for you? Like, I'm not saying that you're going to get it down today.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you wanted a heads up for something that you could be like on stream practicing, that the stream would love to watch you try and learn and you would love to learn, what would be the mechanic?
I would say maybe some form of flick besides kind of the basic.
Okay, perfect. I love that. I love that answer. All right, so let's talk about the first thing with flicks. The first thing with flicks is that when you get the ball on your car, you want to make sure that you match the speed of the ball to the speed of the car. So one of my tips is that imagine the top of your car as a cone. And if the top of your car is the cone, you can never want to let the top of the cone be under the center of the ball. It'll help you want to have that top of the cone around that white circle under the ball, and that'll help you kind of manipulate the speed of the ball. But also, if you think about it, the top of the cone is technically what pushes the ball forwards in a flick. And if you have the top of the cone directly under the ball as you go to flick it, well, nothing's going to be there to flick the ball forwards because there's nothing higher than the top of the cone. So by having that mentality, we can get certain types of flicks, like let's say a rotational flick where you kind of get the ball in your car and you want to just reduce that sparks and stuff. If you see sparks on your car, that means that the ball's kind of making disconnects from your car. By reducing sparks, you get more of a firm like flick on the ball, knowing that there's more of a connection between your car and the ball. So let's say a good flick that's not a specific like common flick would be what I call rotational, which is that 45, 90, or like 180 degree flicks. And all I'd say is start with having the ball in your car with kind of that right over the windshield, no sparks on your car, and then jump, and let's just see how well you can keep the ball so it just stays near your car when you first jump off the ground. Because if it's not staying near your car when you first jump, then it's going to make it so we can't get you to start implementing the rotation. So I'm watching your screen share now.
I'm seeing a lot of sparks.
That's true. So let's start with the sense of the matching speed to the ball. Overall, you do a good job with like imagining your top of the car like a cone, like the sense of like keeping it under that white circle under the ball. The things that make the sparks a lot of times is if your car is not matching the right speeds, it'll start to do that, or if you're doing like less smooth joystick motions. So I like to do the flick that turns to the right and then flicks to the left. Like, basically, you'll turn... If you're going to go to the right side, like, I'm going to push my joystick, like, towards 3. Whenever I jump, I'm going to go 3. And then I'm just trying to flip that... I'm just trying to flip the... like, the front bumper. Like, when I jump, imagine you're trying to flip that front bumper through the center of the ball. That's like... So when I jump, I roll. And that's all I'm trying to focus on is just... Whatever flip feels like that would be from that point of rotation. Pushing the center of the ball... or the center of the front bumper through the center of the ball, dependent on how much I've rotated.
Okay, so we're wanting to turn to the side prior to flipping.
Yeah,
into the ball.
you jump and you hold your A for a second, and by holding your A, you make your car do a little higher of a jump. You also you get a longer amount of time until you need to flip. Mm-hmm. And also, it helps keep your car closer to the ball. That way. Oh, that's not a good one at all to demonstrate. I'm trying not to give any critiques just yet because the coaching minor in me knows that I need to let you do like a few sets.
Yeah, I need to like
trying it before
figure it
I
out
give
with
you
my hand.
critique right now.
Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, sir.
Look at you. Out here making money moves.
I'm not trying to get it towards the net or anything. I'm just trying to figure out
Yep.
how to do it.
It doesn't even matter if you're flicking at the net. You could drive at the corner and do it for all I care. So, I guess by this point, the only thing I can really help with is the idea of like, or like for like rotation flicks, it just can be time. Mm-hmm. But as there's still like some time left, anything that you wanted else?
Specifically, no. If you had anything else in mind.
Well, that's good. You don't want to learn how to triple reset? I'm just kidding. Acting as if I could just teach someone immediately how to triple reset.
Hey, I saw you struggling on the double ones earlier while demonstrating, okay? Let alone a triple.
Okay, I can... Don't come here with that sauce. I can double reset consistently. Rapid resets is different, though. I stall for most of mine.
Alright, let's see it. 1, 2. Where is it at?
There's not a third. I actually didn't even get on the second one. I can do it with this. Alright, stalls now. Ready? Stalls, easy. Because, you know, stalling's the easiest thing to do in the game. Just kidding. But with an Elite Series U controller, you can make a shift paddle. And with the shift paddle, you can do it where... No, I can't. With the shift paddle, my B button's left stick to the right without me actually having to press the left stick at all. So I can stall every time I want without ever having to press the left stick. Which just came in handy.
Yeah, it blows my mind when some people are like, oh hey, I'll just hit 11 flip resets real quick.
Real quick. What I can't do well is musty. People can like musty on command. I'm like, nah, chief.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the point where it's like, oh, you know, sometimes in game I might pull out something randomly and be like, oh, okay, that wasn't bad. That was kind of nice. That wasn't terrible. But if anyone's like, okay, now do it again, or do it in training, or do it like in any other scenario, it's like, yeah, no, sorry. Anything on command is just not very.
Yeah, no, exactly. I feel like
doable.
that's the idea of like a competitive versus a freestyler, is that like comp players like don't do well on commands. If they know what they're going for ahead of time, they're bad at it. They make decisions based on what they see is possible.
Yeah, very
Once you
much
see
more
something
quick decision while in the moment rather than methodically trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way with that stuff. Like, I have done flip reset double taps many a time, but like, I never intend on it. I will get the flip reset, send it, and I'm like, oh shoot, that's high, and I just follow it up.
Gotta
Like,
get the
okay, we
double,
got
yeah.
it. It's not by any means necessary. Like, oh, we send in this to the backboard. It's just like the whoops, that's high. If you guys ended up liking today's video, feel free to drop a like, a comment, or also follow. I'll be doing more Rocket League content coming out here shortly on my YouTube. I'm still trying to grow it. If you enjoyed watching Valar, also her links will be in the description below, as well as the links to my other socials, so check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.